What's up, guys? Today we're doing an operator guide on how to play as Smoke in Rainbow Six Siege 2025. Talking all about Smoke, how to use his gas canisters, and how to rank up and win more matches while playing as Smoke. First, let's get to the loadout. So you have the FMG9 and the M59. Honestly, this isn't a bad gun, but it is a 1x, and when you're Smoke, you're normally the guy in charge of setting up the site with like lines of sight and rotate. So I would always opt for the M59 because you do have the SMG11 for the ranged weapon. So M59 shotgun, boom, here's what I run. And then you have the SMG11. I like to run flash hider. A lot of people will run muzzle brake potentially, but I like flash hider personally. And yeah, that's what I run on it. You have a pistol, FMG9. Never use the pistol. FMG, I mean, I wouldn't. I've seen people do okay with this, but I would just run the shotgun. There's no reason not to. And then you have the option between prox alarms and barb. Barb is going to go a lot farther. There's a lot of positions in Siege that are like elbows and like, you know, power positions where you're going to want a shield. So if you do want to play Smoke in a position like that, you are going to need someone to bring you a shield or, you know, some type of utility. So Smoke is an operator that kind of needs a little bit of support if you want to really hold a choke point, but he doesn't really need it. We're going to talk about why. All right, now we're going to talk about Smoke's ability to toss his babe canisters. So you're going to get 3 of them throughout the round to use. You can throw one like so. Boom. You can activate whenever you want. When you do, it'll last for about 12 seconds. Any enemy that walks in there, you're going to be able to see. If you walk in there, you won't take any damage, but attackers will take damage, including anyone on your team will also take damage. So be careful about throwing them at your teammates. They're really good for like cutting off a spot that's probably going to get pushed, give you time to reset, recover, maybe ask for some backup and reposition. And they're also really good against shield players. So a lot of good uses of the smoke canisters. That's why Smoke is such a good staple of a pick on the defensive lineup, because you can set up the site pretty easily with your shotgun, and you can hold down an area, literally any area, fairly easily with just a smoke canister, making the attackers reset. Because now that they know they're being watched, you can get into an angle that you want, or you can even swing up on your smokes in a position where you can fight them with your shotgun. Now we're going to go to a couple different sites and just talk about Smoke and where to really play. All right, guys, now I'm going to go through at least one site on every ranked map in the game and show you guys a quick setup for Smoke that you're going to want to know how to use. Even if you're not playing the Smoke, it's just a good little setup to use. You're going to want to reinforce that wall. I won't be dealing with reinforcements right now, but I will tell you which wall should be reinforced. There's a really good quick setup that will be good at literally every elo range. And that's the site. Just like that, we're all done. You can watch T1 walk down. You can watch the bunker area. You can come play elbow with your smoke canisters, throw them down. If anyone's pushing tower, you can throw a smoke canister up. Everyone goes laundry, you can, you know, throw a smoke canister over there. You can fight them, freeze it from here. Really good setup that you're probably going to see in almost every single ranked match. Okay, now we're on Clubhouse. Everyone's going to have a different way that they do this, but I'm going to show you guys my way that most people are going to do at high elo. Place bomb on the main staircase. Pedals there. Reinforce that wall, reinforce those 2 walls. Simple enough. You're going to want to reinforce this wall. Now, your positioning for Smoke on this site, a couple different positions you can take. You can either play mannequins, holding back the oil as well as a secret. If they get close, you can just shotgun them. Or you can play in dirt with smoke canisters, because again, if they're pushing forward, you can smoke it off, and you are extremely deadly with the shotgun as well as the SMG11 combo. Fighting them in dirt is most people are going to want to fight a smoke in dirt, and if they're ever planted, you can just kind of pop over, throw a canister at that dark spot, and you will stop the plant. If you're playing over here, another good position, Moto. a gas up the main staircase. I might throw a gas when they're going for a plant, right? And then I'll just do something like this. Swinging in, taking them down.
Location
Now we're on Consulate. Pedals here. I'd reinforce that wall. I get Barbie just so you know that someone is walking over here. I'd make holes in the floor here. You can either open this hatch early or not, depending on how you want to play it, Smoke. We'll talk about in like 30 seconds. I'd reinforce that wall, reinforce that wall. Maybe make some lines of sight here for the lobby door walk-in. You never know when someone's going to do that. Barb on the Visa staircase. Come over here, show you guys some super technique things. For the walk-up, lobby staircase as well as Visa staircase. And for the Visa double door walk-in. Now I'm gonna run over here. Not much to do here, but you can make vertical here if you want to watch a spiral walk up from there. A couple good little vertical angles to learn if, you know, just want to learn that. And then as Smoke, I would probably play in this position because if I ever go for a plant, I can just come over, throw a smoke canister, boom, like that, and I can just play up close here with a shotgun, holding them off, throwing a smoke canister. If they're underneath, I can pop the hatch and then fight them from my position, or I can leave it popped at the start and fight them. But you do have to be careful if that hatch is open. When you're going for these swings, you are going to be completely exposed, so you do have to be careful. Or you can play from this pixel position and just throw smoke canisters like so while holding down that staircase, just smoking off the plant as they go for it. Pretty simple stuff. All right, and now we're on bank. Shotgun and rotate. Shotgun and another rotate. Probably want that standing. That's kind of annoying. Reinforce this wall and this wall. So you can have an angle all the way on the planter right there. Barbed wire. Reinforce all the hatches. And then you have a couple options over here. You can reinforce both walls. I would at least reinforce this wall no matter what, so they can't just plant there easily. And then you can make kill holes here to help you hold a dirt area better, or you can reinforce it off. It's up to you. And then one thing I like to do as Smoke here is I like to hold the blue staircase. So here's why. They walk in, I'm able to take a firefight, especially with these holes. They're afraid of everything that's happening there. I can have someone play server to watch that dirt door so they can't really rush it. And then I can just hold this staircase really easily. I can take the fight, take the fight, take the fight. Or I can just smoke off the door. Play this close with a shotgun and throw flashbangs. Sometimes you can dodge a flash by, you know, comes over, it lands something like there. I can crouch under that and it won't flash me at all. They'll run in and get a pump to the face. And I can just smoke off the door whenever I feel like getting out. If they open up the hatch, you do need to be careful of them potentially flanking you, but you will be able to at least stall the timer out for a bit, making them have to just rush through this door into sight in front of a potential mirror and losing. So now we're setting up on Kanal. Let's place a little bit of barb there, feed holes, obviously reinforce the main walls, and reinforce the 90 walls as well. You can throw a barb there, and for that barb that's in there, you can either place it on that kill box, or you can place it for green. Reinforce those walls. Maybe an angle here, maybe a rotate here. Reinforce that wall. And then you can hold Sky Bridge, and if you're a smoke shotgun, which you probably are, you can hold this area pretty easily. Throw a smoke on the door when you need to focus here. And you can watch the staircase with the shotgun or SMG-11. Really strong position for smoke. All right, now we're setting up top on Chalet. Reinforce those two walls. Then I like to either place a barb here just to kind of slow it down. Rotate. Rotate on the left side, and I like to have line of sight all the way across. For anyone playing in Master, it makes it a little bit easier to watch K9 door from that far away. Holes above for trophy walk-in. So you can watch the trophy walk-in. Holes for West Main, and you can even have these ones are kind of interesting. Someone has to be playing West Main, and you can kind of watch the bathroom hop in from underneath. Makes them second guess themselves a little bit. And then for the last bar, you can either place it on the solar staircase, or you can place it like here, just so you know they're kind of pushing up this direction. And in smoke, I'm gonna play up on the wall, or I can play further back, like this position, because if they ever go for a plant, I can just kind of throw a smoke over the top like so. I'll show you where that lands. Smoking out this entire area, and we'll kill them. Or you can throw it from this position, another position that you can throw it. This is probably a better angle on that spot. So yeah, position smoked off. They can't plant, they'll have to run because they'll be doing damage to them. So smoke, I'd probably, you know, swing across over here, playing from this angle, because you're not really in danger from anything unless they walk in piano. You just throw smokes from that position, it's up the plant. Now we're up top on Cafe. Reinforce that wall. Reinforce both these walls as well as that wall. First barb is for the white staircase walk up, because you definitely don't want anyone walking up on the flank. Place it there. Let's shoot that couch out so you can hide in the corner a little bit better. Putting the bathroom wall open here. Reinforce that wall. Then you can either have this soft, or you make feed holes across so you can see the plants are there. And then for smoke, if I want to play an aggressive smoke, I'd place a barb like here and play around the closet. You can even shotgun this out and hold the angle while they drop the hatch. Or I can play more like this and play in the freezer area. And if they're ever going for a plant, I can just kind of peek my head out, throw a smoke canister over the top, stop them, or I can sweep from the door, but they're probably going to be holding me, so you need to be a little bit trickier with that. Or I can play all the way back here, and again, just angle it in a way that I can like get it on that default plant, like so, or like that, which would be on the plant on the freezer door. Boom. Pretty easy to stop a plant and force them to have to re-engage and rethink what they're doing. Now we're on border top floor. Armory. Make line of sight on the armory wall. For anyone playing half wall. Tend to make it rotate here. Reinforce that wall right there, as well as the wall on the left. Coming over. Line of sight right there. So I reinforce this wall as well as that wall. This is default hold for a higher level rank, so this is kind of like a default thing to do. I know it seems like a lot. So I'll run over here. Make feed holes like so. I'm gonna put a rotate on one side, and I've reinforced this too. I reinforce this as well. Maybe open the hatch so I can drop if anyone's playing Canadian. Reinforce that wall and that wall. And then I play back here. I smoke. If they try to go for a plant, I can just throw smoke like that. I mean, you are taking damage. You cannot plant there, brother. If they smoke it out, yeet it out, and I have no idea where the planter's at, I'll throw a smoke like that. And then I'll throw a smoke like that. And the entire area is covered, basically negating an aggressive push. I'm going to play here with a shotgun, SV11 combo. Hold the window, hold the walk. If they come from this direction, I can swing out with a shotgun. I can fight like that. And if I'm like really in danger, I can open up a line of sight like so with some of this. So I can play in more of the tuck. And then people in armory are going to have a line of sight to help me when they get close to that door. I'm going to show a really simple hold on Skyscraper. Pretty easy one to do. Line of sight, reinforce. I like to place barbed wires on staircase because a lot of times I lose rounds on this map because someone crowd walks up and kills a couple people before they even realize what's going on. You can make a beetle here if you want for the black staircase, for the brown staircase to have an angle there. I'd probably reinforce both those walls. You could have line of sight if you want, but I'm not going to choose that to do that today. I would not make her rotate here. I'd reinforce both these walls because a lot of times, a lot of attackers will just kind of fixate on the black door and the black staircase. So having to rotate there, you make their job easier to be able to sneak into sight. Now they have to cross no man's land, which is going to be tough. And then I can play on the black staircase. Play some barb like that. Play on the staircase. I can even put the barb slightly further out if I want to be able to tuck the corner a little bit. Play like here. So I can kind of like, you know, wait for them to actually walk up. And I can throw a smoke over the top on the door whenever I feel like pushing out. And I'll be able to just smoke off the door and just swing across if I want to play more tuck on the door. Making it a pretty easy hold for smoke, being able to rotate around like that. Okay, another simple hold on Coastline. Rotate, reinforce this wall. And I put line of sight across here, and I'd reinforce that wall. Then over here, you have a vaulting hole or a full runnable. It's up to you on how you want to do that. Full runnable, you can just like rotate in easy. Reinforce that wall, and then I put a line of sight like so. You're gonna do like a hole up top just to throw smoke a little bit better if you want. Over the top like that. And then, you know, if they go in for an aqua plant, I can just kind of like peek out, throw a smoke canister right there. Smoking off the bomb plant and just holding this area with a shotgun SPG-11 combo. If I feel like I'm getting pressured Kuka, I may try to like get out of this situation and just play around here. And even here, I can still kind of throw a smoke over the top to really stop the plant. Making it really easy to stop the aqua plant. I mean, smoke's probably the best operator other than an operator that has a nitro, but smoke gets 3 shots stopping the plant. Nitro only gets 1. Okay, now this is going to be an extremely simple setup. Double reinforce, double reinforce, double reinforce. Feed holes here. You're going to reinforce off the hatch. I place barb here. And then I can place the other barb, maybe on the dragon door, just so I know that they are near the door. And I shotgun hold out of the top, so we can throw things over the top like nitros or impacts. And then, as my smoke positioning here, I can either play here, throwing smoke canisters at the split door, playing tuck with a shotgun so they actually walk in, I smoke them. Or if I'm worried about dragon, I can position myself over here and just play this position, smoking off the door whenever I don't feel like peeking, so I can like watch a split as well as there. We're gonna smoke off the door and like maybe watch a breach. Pretty easy hold. Smoke canisters just let you like hold off an angle that you don't want to watch for a second while I watch something else. People can run through the smoke, but normally you'll hear them and they'll be coughing while they go through the smoke, and you'll see them, and they won't be able to see much when running through the smoke anyways. Now we're on Villa.
Out for Op 4 attempting to defuse your bomb.
Rotate here. Pad holes here. Reinforce that wall. Slightly higher line of sight there, just so I can throw things over the top. Reinforce, reinforce, reinforce. Then feed holes here. Then I can make some holes in the floor here for the main door. Get some barb there. Get some barb here. And then what I can do to hold the sight two positions I like to play as smoke. I can either play near the bar, watch the main walk up like this, just really being a nuisance, so people walking through the main door, really just being annoying. And when they're planting, I can just throw a smoke canister over the top in the vault angle. Easy enough. Or I can play on the main staircase itself, smoking off the stairs when they're actually trying to push. Or play it here, SMG-11 shotgun, and just kind of waiting for someone to walk in. Pretty easy hold. Now we're on Outback. On the side there, reinforce that wall. Reinforce these two walls. And two walls on the breach, of course. Barb near the top. Barb near the bottom. Spread them out as much as you can so you can't destroy them all with one thing of utility. Hold underneath. In fact, I probably want to make a hold underneath. You'll see why. Then I also like to do hold underneath here so I can watch from here. Or, you know, if they're not haven't opened the wall yet, I can watch them as they're walking through bottom yellow. I can smoke off the window. I can smoke off the breach. And I can play on the staircase with SMG-11 or shotgun. Really hard to take that from smoke control. Just be careful of peeking the breach. There's going to be a lot of ACOGs aiming at you, so I wouldn't just, like, hold an angle like that. But if you're moving or quickly, they're probably not going to be able to hit you. And I just smoke off the breach. So I can do whatever I want and hold it down. Lock it down. Easy enough. Now we're on everyone's favorite map, Emerald Plains. On the side there. Reinforce the other two walls. Reinforce this wall. Hold all the way across. I would just have just enough for a rotate on this side of the wall. Reinforce both these walls. Barbed wire. A couple different options you can do. I'd probably place them on green, as well as running around. On the staircase over here for bottom orange. Then shotgunning over here, you can do a couple things. I can make a ton of bead holes, maybe a line of sight for the window. Can make line of sight for the potential freezer. But you do want to hold this section of the map because they are just able to like kind of walk in just like that. Then I can either do a rotate and then a wall reinforcement so I can swing in, or people roaming around they can swing in without having to worry about everything else. And then stopping a plant, I mean, it's pretty easy to smoke here. Again, if they're walking the vault, they smoke off that vault area. If I'm playing in this position, I can just kind of like smoke it out like that. And we'll be able to lock it down. I was setting up at Night Haven Labs. Vaulted rotate here. You're gonna run over here, reinforce these two walls. Barbed wire. Give it barbed wire here, or you can place it on the garage staircase. We're not quite done, so hold on. Reinforce this wall. Another vaulting rotate. Reinforce these two walls. Then you place barb on this staircase for another teammate to hold garage. You probably don't want to hold garage with smoke because the weapons do make it a little bit more difficult. But what you can do is, I also make some bead holes over here with aqua. I can just hold this area with the breach, just covering, throwing off smoke. I can even push it here because it's a really good fight for smoke. If I feel like they're on that door, I can just do this. I can walk up with a shotgun on the window, fight them on the window, holding this position down. And, you know, follow through the site. If they push from the opposite side, I can just hold an angle with the SMG-11. I even smoke off the door if I want to, like, push in more. Fighting through my smoke. Now the final map set up. We're on Lair. I'd probably open it all the way across, honestly. You'll either rotate on one side. Bar up here. Reinforce these two walls. Come over here. Line of sight all the way across so you can see all the way from here. I'll just put a rotate here so someone can play this bathroom position. Maybe some bar up here. And honestly, you can reinforce both sides of these or leave this part like line of sight and reinforce this side. There's a couple ways you can do this. I would reinforce these two walls, and I would probably reinforce these two walls to force them to have to open it because the default plant spot is right here. So one thing that I like to do is if I know they're gonna go for a plant, I can just come over, like a smoke like that. They'll go right into the plant spot, stopping that plant. I can even do it from here. Basically, any position where I can get that stop on is gonna be good enough. All in the same spot. Pretty simple, just really trying to stop that position while holding everything else. That's enough smoke setups. Now let's talk about some smoke gameplay here. We're on theme park. I'm pushing aggressively. I have a shotgun in hand. We pump him. One thing that's really good about smoke is that ADS speed to aim in. While you're aiming in, your shot is going to be, it's good to go a little bit farther with a little bit more kill potential, even while you're aiming in. So don't be afraid to swing with your gun down and then aim in as you're about to shoot to be able to finish that kill off. I take a shot there. I don't think I'm going to go to kill. I swing in. One pump on the guy there. Get some damage on him. He runs back in, but we take him out there. Here we have Bank. There's a Montaigne. I see several of them. I almost get knifed by the IQ, actually. Throw a smoke on the Montaigne. One gets smoked off. I smoke where the Montaigne is going to go because now he's already taking tick damage from the smoke canister. And he walks into it. I take a shotgun on him just to hurt him a little bit more. Montaigne does go down. I swing out with my shotgun. He pre-fires, so I know he's out of ammo. I see him, and we take him down. We see the last, but we just kind of run away. Next round, holding blue staircase. I run in to open area. As I hear him shooting. Interrogation does go down. I see the IQ. Following that, SG-11 for the win. And last guy is running away outside loan office. I should have ADS'd here. You're going to see that this would have been a kill if I ADS. Instead I hip fire. Be careful because hip fires are not super good anymore. He empties his gun. I know where he's at. And we just pre-fire it out. Next round, we have Oregon. We're playing elbow. I swing out with my SG-11 up. We find him. Keep our gun up when we swing. Gun shoots really fast, so don't be afraid to take a firefight. At basically any range. We good to go. Find the third. Round's over. All right, back on bank. It is now a 3v4. I smoke off the dirt door so they don't walk in as I run upstairs to cover this because they they threw a grenade. I see a laser on the wall, so I need to be ready that they're going to swing in. We find one. I'm waiting for the second. We find two. Do you see how I ADS that second guy while he swung in? I ADS just to make the range, make sure it kills him. And he goes down.
Op 4 last stop standing.
That's all she wrote. Next round. 3v5 here. Flashbangs come in. I take cover. One does end up getting me, but I have smoke canister go down, so I'm not too worried about it. I swing out. I almost kill somebody else as well. They're throwing flashes. I smoke it off. I swing into the smoke. You can't see much, so you gotta be careful of doing that. I hear them there. I heard someone drop, so I swing down to make sure. Yep, there he is. Guy walks in frustrated, and we find him too. Making a 3v5 situation, now a 3v2. Even if I die here, I made it a 2v2. More than fine. And, you know, that's kind of how it goes. when you're playing an aggressive smoke play like this, chances are you're not going to get out and survive through to the end of the round. But if you do take out most of the team, you did your job perfectly fine. Especially if you burn a ton of time. Like, they haven't even worked server yet, and there's only a minute left on the clock. All right, now we're back on bank.
I'm throwing.
Oh,
Swinging.
Where's that at?
The open area. I find one.
He's like under the hatch. Back.
Free firing out. Making sure not to empty my entire mag, so I'm ready to keep fighting. Remember, the SMG-11 only has 16 bullets, so you do need to be careful of how much ammo is in your gun. I see him through the hole. We swing out, 8 bullets left. That's enough. And I see him, and we take him down. Now, back in the same area of the map, I see a teammate top janitor door. So I'm like, I'm going to walk up and help him take this guy out because I don't see anybody else. Let's get our first pick and move on. Boom, we find it. 5v4 now. I pre-fire the angle in the kitchen just to make sure he's not there, and I play my blue staircase. Guy's starting to swing up. We take him down. I hear a glass kind of meandering around. I see him, but we take him down. Back on the blue staircase again. You know I love this spot. Grenade comes out. Let's watch that back one more time. You can see him there on that quick peek. You can see him there with a grenade in his hand on the quick peek. Grenades aren't going to blow up in your face anymore, so I'm not afraid to try to take the shot. We get him with a fadeaway as the grenade comes out. We dodge the grenade. We take the position again. Ibana tries to power through. Almost gets me, but not quite. Here come the Grimbees. And we just hold the site with throwing our smoke canisters. We just burn time. I mean, it's a 5v2. I can just keep throwing smoke canisters, and then I'm never going to have time to really do anything here. All right, guys, that's it today on how to play a smoke. Honestly, smoke is a pretty simple operator to use, but he's one of the hardest to master and is honestly one of the best. He is a staple in a defensive lineup. You have the barbed wire to slow down an enemy. You have gas canisters to stop shields, aggressive pushes to just really push back the attackers, and you have a really good kit of weapons to fight enemies in close range to medium range. Definitely not a long-range operator. SMG-11, if you're a really good shot, even long-range, is still going to be tough against someone with an ACOG, but having a shotgun is really good when someone's trying to swing you close. In SMG-11, you can take close firefights as well as medium-range firefights and do fairly well because the SMG-11 is a killer gun that has a crazy fire rate with decent damage, actually. Smoke's a really good operator. There's not much else to say. There's a lot of different ways that you can use smoke, but honestly, you can't really go wrong. Just remember, if you die of smoke, I mean, you can't use your ability. Your ability is dead in the water. So it's always better to use your gas canisters early if you feel like you're in danger, than keep them in your pocket and potentially die with them, you know, not stalling them out, not dealing any damage to attackers, and, you know, all those fun things. Anyways, that's it for today. Make sure to subscribe, drop a comment, and leave a like down below for more. Let me know what operator you guys want to see next time. Peace out.